And I think that that also gets to not fixing their kind of unhappy situations, right? You're talking about a situation where your kid is kind of feeling sad about not reading, but I think there's so many other situations that parents intervene on to kind of fix kids' discomfort, right? You like forgot your lunch at school, you forgot your lunch on the way to school. It's like, oh my gosh, I see the lunch. As a parent, I'm going to rescue my kid and bring them their backpack that they forgot, or bring them their lunch. Or, and for later kids, in college, my kid got a bad grade. I'm going to call the professor and try to negotiate about this grade and sort of fix it for them. But I think functionally, the act of doing that is kind of messing up in exactly the same way you're talking about. When your kid sees evidence of that, they see, oh my gosh, a forgot lunch is the end of the world. Like my busy mom or dad has to like leave work to go deliver my lunch to me. Like that's how bad it would be, if I miss my lunch. Or that's how bad my bad grade is, right? My mom, who's like, again, this busy person, is like intervening to sort of fix it. So it seems like the same thing applies to the discomfort that comes from bad situations as well.
100%. The idea of, if you think about swooping it, right? Like, when do you swoop in? By the way, there are times you should swoop in. If your toddler is about to run across the street of New York City, swoop in. Like, that child is in danger, okay?
Right. If they're sleeping in on the day of the SAT,
Swoop
maybe give them
in.
a little nudge, swoop in, right? Yeah.
But swooping in has a more surprising impact on kids than we think, especially as they get older, because kids know someone swoops in because something's an emergency or because someone doesn't see me as capable. That's really why. Where are kids' mirrors? To me, this is one of the most powerful things to think about as a parent. If I'm my kid's mirror, then I reflect to them the version of who they are. And so if I'm often reflecting my kid's lack of capability, which I don't think I'm doing, but I might unintentionally be doing by fixing so many things, I can't be surprised that as my kid gets older, I keep saying to friends, why can't they figure things out? Why can't they even remember their water bottle? Geez, my kid needs my help with everything. Shouldn't they be able to do this at age 16? Age doesn't bring skills. This is what I always tell parents. People say, at what age will my kid stop having these meltdowns? I feel like it's like someone saying, at what age will my kid be able to swim? And I say, well, like, are they learning how to swim? No. I'd be like, I'm not blaming you, but like at a certain age, no one's like gifted swimming. No one is gifted competence and capability and confidence and regulation. It's not years. It's what you do in the years. And so reflecting capability is a really big part of the good inside approach. And I always like to tell parents, this sounds nice. And by the way, it's so powerful. It's deeply uncomfortable because reflecting capability of your kid has to go hand in hand in recognizing potential discomfort in your kid and just letting it. That's the way I'd say. Let it. Right. And again, am I going to let my kid miss their SAT? No, I'm a reasonable human. Am I going to let my kid forget their water bottle when, by the way, we've been talking about remembering your own water bottle? Yes, if my kid has school lunch that they don't like at their school and they forget the bagel that they like to bring from home, would I let them figure it out? You better bet, because the message here's actually a really important difference. Too often in those situations, we do it from a place of frustration and punishment. So I'll say, I'm not bringing you your water bottle. You can deal with it. Okay. Nobody finds that inspirational. This is very different. Sweetie, I'm not going to bring you your water bottle. You're right. You're not going to have water bottle at soccer. I really think you're going to be capable of getting through it. I really do. You're a strong kid. You'll figure it out. And when you get home, let's figure out just a better system to remember it. I'm on my kid's team. I'm letting them experience this because I actually like my kid, not because I just want to vomit my own frustration. Same thing, right, with, my kid and some homework again. Like maybe, again, it's not the SATs, but it's like middle school. It's like low stakes. To me, my kid's in middle school. All the different things that happen that are hard, I really do say to myself, this is amazing. This is amazing learning that one of my kids waited so long and has to stay up late to work hard on a paper that they're now not going to be able to review with their teacher before, even though their teacher said they'll do that and they probably won't receive a great grade. What an amazing learning.
The problem as a parent, though, is that to hold, I'm doing this wonderful thing. I'm giving my kid a learning. It's a gift. You have to hold that at the same time as, but I love my kid. I'm supposed to be a good parent. I'm kind of I'm allowing discomfort in a way that I could swoop in and fix. And I've committed to that. And that gets to something else that I know you talk about a lot, this idea of needing to hold psychologically this multiplicity, as you've called it, that like you can be a really good parent and you can also let your kid forget their water bottle. You can be a really good parent and you could not remind them about the homework, and that might cause them to get a bad grade or cause them to kind of have a really tough night when they're pulling an all-nighter. um, Talk to me about this multiplicity. How do we hold both of these things at once, and why is it so important to get good at doing this?
So when you do let your kid experience life, right? By the way, assuming again, you can't say to your kid and expect it to be effective, see, you stayed up late and you got a bad grade, right? You made, again, like, it's not that. It's like, I wonder what happened. What would you have to do differently next time? Oh, you'd have to start sooner. I wonder if you have a paper coming up that you would think, oh, you do? When? Oh, it's due 2 Wednesdays from now. I wonder when you'd have to start. Would it be Tuesday? Oh, wait, what did you say? Oh, it would be the Wednesday before. Oh my goodness, that's such a good idea. I wonder how you'll remember to do that. How would I? Oh, what? You're going to put it in your calendar? Oh my goodness, look at you. So you can see I'm like leading my kid to the well, right? That is really important.